Today's project is a workbench. The materials that we need are some 2x4s, a 3/4 inch sheet of plywood, 1/2 inch sheet of plywood, 2 4x4 posts, and about a pound box of 2.5 inch screws. First thing we're going to do is cut our 4x4s into our legs. Then we're going to cut our 8 pieces of 27 inch. These will be our stretchers for the sides and as well as the shelf and the support for the top. This is actually my first time using the stop on this DeWalt stand, the saw stand. I didn't actually know that's what those are for. I thought they were just supports. But my buddy Carter, you'll see in the video, he was over helping me. He's the one who told me that can be measured out and used to, if you're cutting a bunch of the same size pieces, just measure it out and then use it as a stop. So that sped up the process a lot. Next step would be to cut our 92 inch pieces. Next up, we're going to notch our legs for the rails and the stretchers. I decided to go with this idea instead of putting all the boards on the outside of the base to kind of keep them flush. I'm not sure if it's going to affect the integrity of the bench. My idea was, obviously it'd have a big chunk of the post out, but the void will be filled with the 2x4s. Step 5 would be to chisel out the notches. So we just took the saw and kind of made a bunch of cuts in it so we could take the chisel and bust them out, as you can see here. This is probably the longest process of the whole build, and like I said, this wouldn't have to be the way that you did it. You could easily put all the rails on the outside, and I think that's kind of the typical way that you would build a bench like this. But I like to try new things, and I like how it turned out in the end, so I think it was worth it. And there's Carter, he's chipping away at him. That one had a big knot in the top, so that wasn't ideal. Next will be to assemble all the pieces now that everything's cut to size and notched out. So we'll just kind of put the pieces together. You just want to make sure everything's flush on the ends. And make sure you square things up and make sure everything is going together square as you go so it doesn't turn out way off in the end. I just used a couple of screws here. Make sure you get some into the posts, and then when we get the side pieces on, I I put a couple in those as well. We went ahead and built both the front and the back pieces, and then we put the sides together.
Tell you, I don't not think that people are gonna love these DeWalt tools.
As you can tell, Carter's not a fan of DeWalt. He likes his Milwaukee. I'm just checking the square again here. Went ahead and put some of the supports in the middle for the bottom shelf in. Just evenly space those out, and we'll do the same for the top. I thought about using pocket holes for this, but I just wanted to keep it simple for one of my first bigger builds. And I don't have a I want to get one of the Craig pocket hole jigs. Here I'm using the track saw to cut the bench top. Actually, I think this is the shelf. I used a thinner piece of plywood for the shelf and a thicker one for the top. And then I'm using my jigsaw here to make notches where it'll sit around the post. So this will be the shelf piece. You'll see when we get it put in. Next up, I'm going to attach the plywood and finish securing the base. So you'll see that shelf piece that I was just cutting with the jigsaw, where I had to notch around the posts. Got that sat in there, and then here I have the top piece on. This is the next day. So these are the first screws I used. I just used drywall screws, which you'll see didn't end up being the best idea. They wanted to kind of strip out, especially in the center, because the plywood was a little bit bowed up in the center until I got it screwed down. And they didn't want to grab the wood too well. They would, but then they would strip out. So I'll actually end up taking all these out and replacing them with the screws I used to assemble the base with, the 2.5 inch, which is kind of overkill, I think, for the top. But that's what I had on hand, and they worked than these drywall screws did. I actually messed up putting those ones in because we left an overhang on the back. Right there you can see I actually had a couple break on me too. But we left an overhang on the back of the bench because I have the block foundation. of the wall there. That way that would hold it away from the wall, the bench itself. So we kind of filled the gap with the overhang on the back. So here I'm taking all the drywall screws out and replacing them with the 2.5 inch decking screws. I really like these screws. I've used them a couple times now, but the Spax, they're made in the USA, so I like that. And they've done a really good job. These are exterior ones, so they're rated for the pressure treated posts that we used. So here's the finished product. It turned out really well. Like I said, I don't really see them like this. Usually any plans you see, they're not notched out like that, but I kind of like the look of it. And then I didn't show a video of this, but I actually built this top hutch. You can kind of build whatever you want on the top, but I just wanted something. I'll end up putting pegboard on that too, so I can hang some tools, and I've got the light overhead. So that makes it really nice. I actually made these plans myself, so if you guys would be interested in the plans that I used, I guess just let me know in the comments and I can get them over to you. And then in the future, I plan on doing some more projects and builds, so let me know if you guys like seeing this or if you'd like to see something specific. Thanks.